you're good. So I very rarely do commissions or tutorials as such for our newbies in the resin world. I have got some trinkets to finish off, necklaces and keyrings, so I thought we could do it together. So it's a commission of somebody's very special flowers. I'll put some other little snippets up on the side. I'm going to put my apron on, and I thought we could just finish them off together. I'm going to put processes, if I've still got them on my phone, to the side so you can see the start of these, but at the moment we are at the finishing off stage and they look so good, but there are lumpy bumpies and we cannot have that, so we're going to finish them off together and chat a load of nonsense because I'm good at that. Beth's flowers, these are memorial flowers and I've dried them in my Blooming Silica. They were, Beth won't mind me saying, past their best really, so we've had our work cut out. Also, I've had to snip and take bits of flower to put them in bezels, which are super shallow. And I've just been making little bits of leftover resin as I go. And generally, I am pretty pleased. Beth also wants some keyrings. So we're going to finish off our keyrings because I realise it's quite helpful to see processes if you're new here. So if you are new here, come and say hello because the YouTube community are absolutely phenomenal. They are a really lovely bunch and hopefully they'll check out the comments and say hello back. Everybody loves a little follow, so do give me a follow and I'll try and follow back as well. So I've got some sticky out bits. You probably can't see, but there are some sticky out bits, so I'm going to give those a little sand. And they have had a phenomenal top coat already and they are very, very beautiful, but I'm going to be using the one coat today and I'm going to do another layer on a couple of them. This one is absolutely perfect, so we're going to finish this one off today. This is the resin tape which you can get from me, and this just simply holds your bezels in place whilst you're doing your resin work. And they feel, that one feels absolutely perfect. It's got snippets of everything in there. There's a lot going on. It is a little bit cloudy, but that's the sticky residue on the back from my tape. I'm going to use some stuff to get that off to make it nice and shiny again. You can double dome. You can dome the reverse as well, but I don't tend to because they sit nicely on your chest when you're wearing them if they're flat backed. So we'll leave that one. I am using my Dremel and I'm just going to open up the chuck and change the drill bit to a sanding tool, and I'm just going to give them a light sand over the surface. And what you're going to want to do is put a mask on for sanding. We always wear a mask. So the one that feels a little bit lumpy is this one. Let's see. You probably can't see, but there's tiny little sticky out bits. Very annoying, but I'm just going to simply sand her back. And what I want to do is make sure I do all of it. I'm trying not to sand the bezel, but I want an even coverage, an even layer. Luckily the Apex resin is self-leveling, so we don't need to worry if we overwork a particular bit, it will level out, which is a good thing about the Apex resins. I've just stood part A of my resin in a bowl of recently boiled kettle water just to warm it up and improve the viscosity. Don't stand part B in hot water. So we're going to leave that for a bath and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some top coating. It looks a little bit scary at the moment, but this is just going to be absolutely perfect when it's done. It's nothing to worry about. These ones feel absolutely beautiful and fine, but they have got that sticky residue on the back. Can you see? It's a bit frosty and there you go, look, tacky. So we'll get those off in a minute. And what we're going to do, we also missed a bezel. That definitely needs a top coat. So what I can do for that one to give me the best chance of success is, now this layer is set, I can come on in and just snip away sticky out bits. And actually this resin is really good for doming in the jewellery world, so I'm not going to worry too much if they are super sticky out because the resin will cover them. But we'll just do a little bit of snipping just to to give us the best chance. And then I always do it with, you can't beat using your fingernails just to get off the excess. And then you can see you've got a really good chance of getting a cracking dome on that one. So we'll do that one as well. And we've got a keyring stuck on there, a couple of keyrings. Where's my moon gone? Here it is. And let's have a feel across the surface. Now I can feel, you can't see it, maybe you can see it just here. Tiny imperfection, that is no good, so that has to be sanded back as well. This was a moon bezel, but the lady didn't want it to be see-through. She wanted a nice soft mink background. We've got some overspill here, so we're going to sort that out as well. We can sometimes just snip it, but we're a bit late snipping, so we're going to sand it back. And that will come up nicely. And you can change the attachments if you've got multi-attachments for your Dremel. Sometimes what I like to do is just warm it up a little bit with my long-handled lighter, which I can guarantee has probably never got any gas in it. Let's see. Just gently watch your fingers and also just take the flame on and off. You don't want to be burning your resin. Of course, my flame was out. Like so. And then if you've got any bits that just need picking off, they'll come off much easier, but just be very careful of your hands. And that needs a little polish up because we've still got sticky residue on there, but that is looking much better. So now I'm going to give this one a quick sand to get that lumpy bumpy surface away. I did just put a mask on for that one because it was quite dusty now, so I don't want to be breathing that in. I try not to mention it too often because I know it can be very annoying for artists and creatives, but I see so many people not wearing their gloves. Now, I know that we're very careful not to get resin on us when we're making, and it is likely that you're probably not getting it on your skin, but I don't know if everybody knows this. Even though you are using a non-toxic craft resin, especially if you're using Apex resins, that you don't have to get it on your skin frequently to build up a resistance or an intolerance. You can start getting sensitive to it and build up like desensitization to the product if you are working with it, particularly with heat guns and lighters and changing the properties with additives and chemicals. Gloves should always be worn. Even if you think that you are unable to wear a glove, at least put on some barrier cream, especially up my arms. So I've just done that. I've put some cream up my arms, which is why some of the dust has stuck to my skin, I think, which is probably not helpful. I'm going to give them a wipe and put some more cream on. But if you can just get into the habit of wearing the gloves, you're setting yourself up for positive outcomes when working with resin. Too often or not, people will say, oh, I keep getting red blotchy skin, and it's not because it's toxic, it's because it's become an irritant and your immune system has said, oi, not you again, I don't want that stuff near me again. And it kind of, a bit like when you eat loads and loads of bread, you become intolerant to wheat. It's a bit like that. So always wear your gloves on, and I won't mention it again because I understand that it can be incredibly frustrating and you guys are all aware of that, but I thought I'll just mention it. If you're new to the resin world, you may not have heard of that before, so hopefully that helps. But what I want to do now is just work on my key rings. So I'm going to take my gloves off for a moment whilst I'm not working with the resin. I'm going to do a little check of them, and I'm going to do some drilling and adding eyelets. So this is M. Gorgeous little bubble there, look, that's got trapped under the petal, but that's okay. Don't ever beat yourself up about bubbles, guys. Bubbles happen. You can just take off any sharp edges if you have any. Perfect, tiny bit there. I'm going to do M-I, I should have an E somewhere. Perfect, and I'm going to get my eyelets. So what you want to do is check that your eyelets are going to fit your keyrings before you decide to screw them into your keyrings. So I've got two sizes here. They are great to use for these keyrings. I personally think if you can get away with slightly bigger, I would definitely do that, because it's going to hold your keyring it's going to just last a lot longer. It's got more strength to it. So I'm going to opt for the bigger one, and I'm going to get my Dremel, press the button, open up the chuck, and hunt for 10 minutes to see where I've put my drill bit. There we go. I'm going to go for a 4 for this particular. Then I'm going to probably, this is the front of my keyring and this is the back. So I want to drill my hole down the back of these flowers. And you will have, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about that. You will have the insert of where you have drilled. And then you can check before you start screwing that it's going to fit. Now, it is going to fit. I'm going to not do too much stress twisting because you can cause it to break. But what I am going to do is take my resin, being careful not to touch your resin. If you need to put your gloves back on, put them on. I should really have them on, especially after just mentioning how important it is. Then I'm going to pop it in. I'm going to screw mostly the key ring rather than the threaded eyelet, because I don't want to put stress on this that it causes it to snap. So I am gently screwing the actual key ring itself, like so. Then you're going to decide whether you want it facing like that or on the side. Most often we have it on the side, and you'll want to make sure it's nice and even. I have a little overspill of resin, which isn't bad actually. I quite like that because it means it's going to help it fix. Sometimes I'll just use a cocktail stick as well and take a little bit more resin. I'm just going to put my gloves on because I'm working with it all the time. You just have to be sensible, and I'm cutting corners and that's no good, not even for a video. So you take your cocktail stick and you can just gently give it a nice smooth finish, make it look really professional, like so. And that is going to stay on the side, left to do its thing. I'm going to come back and have a little look at them in a minute. I'm going to speed up the video and do the next few. So we are back. My resin has been sat for 20-25 minutes and it's quite thick and gloopy now, which is exactly how we want it. We really want to get that nice bulbous finish on our resin. So I'm just literally going to drip that on the surface, and honestly you'll see the flowers come back to life before your very eyes. It feels like magic when this happens, and you'll see people doing it on socials when they do a flood pour. Sometimes we call it a flood pour when we're doing castings, but in the jewellery world we tend to call it a doming layer, and that's how we get that nice bulbous rounded finish on our piece. So I'm just putting enough on there for me to then come on in with my cocktail stick and just make sure that I've taken it right to the edge. Now I always go over my metalwork, over the edges of my bezel, but not everybody does that. That's just your style, up to you what you do. I really like the finish when that happens, so that's what I'm going to do. Just literally careful not to burn anything, keep that flame moving, and I'll come back in 10 minutes and do it again.
I choked out as it became harder to breathe. Em? Lydia sounded panicked as I.
So here they are. They're all finished and good to go. I'm really, really proud of them. The flowers were a little bit past their best. So to be able to get from sad and tired flowers to pressed pendants is pretty much a miracle. So I'm just wrapping them up now for our lovely Beth, and I hope that she's pleased with them. I was going to pop flowers in with them, but I think I'm going to leave that because the flowers are quite tired and I just don't want to draw attention to that. You know what I mean? This one's my favourite one. Look at that. Isn't that? I mean, it's amazing that we've got the purple in there because let me show you what I was working with. The purple was so tired and shattered that I really did have my work cut out saving these precious flowers. But we did it, and we took some snips and preserved the best bits we possibly could, and I am very, very pleased with them. So we've got 5 beautiful necklaces as best we could get, and we've also got some key rings. I love this teardrop one. This is my favourite teardrop. Beautiful. So we've got our gorgeous necklaces, and then of course our stunning earrings. And I have used the slightly larger eyelet because I just think they're going to last much longer with a bigger eyelet. There's no tassels or charms on them, but Beth can pop those on if she wants to. Super, super special, super simple. She wanted silver flake, the Lustro confetti flake in her key rings, and that's what she's got. And yeah, aren't they pretty? So pretty. And then I've got some of these tired flowers left over. I mean, I probably will be a bit clever in how I display them, but I'm going to wrap them all up. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget you can get all your bezels and jewellery and Bloom Silica on my website if you want to have a little go at doing this. You can get baby apex resins on my website too. And I'd love to see your make. So if you could give me a subscribe and a follow, you know I'm always super grateful for that. And I'll come back hopefully with another video real soon. Let me know if these videos are worth making, because if they're not and I need to change my direction with them, then I shall do so. But thank you for watching.